Hey everyone, and welcome to our Marketing Masterclass. Now, if you're a Class 12 student, you already know this chapter is absolutely crucial. So my goal today is super simple. We're going to break down every key concept in a way that's not just easy to understand, but also really easy to remember when you're sitting in that exam hall. All right, let's dive right in.
Okay, first things first, let's bust a common myth. When I say the word marketing, what pops into your head? For most people, it's probably ads you see on Instagram or those commercials on TV, right? Well, that's really just the tip of the iceberg. True marketing is a much bigger deal. It's a strategic process that's happening all around you every single day, from the design of the phone in your hand to the exact spot your favorite chips are placed in the grocery store.
So, here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start with the absolute basics, what marketing actually is, then we'll get into the marketer's secret weapon, the 4 Ps, and we're going to break down each one. And to wrap it all up, we'll do a super focused recap with some exam tips to make sure you're totally prepared. Let's get into our first topic.
All right, first up, what is marketing, really? Before we get into all the cool strategies and tools, we have to build a strong foundation. Let's get a crystal clear understanding of what marketing is truly all about.
Okay, I know this looks like a heavy textbook definition, but trust me, it's actually super simple. Let's break it down. Imagine you're feeling hungry. That's a need. A local cafe decides to create an offering, let's say a sandwich, to solve your hunger. You exchange money for that sandwich. So what happens? You get a full stomach and the cafe gets a sale. Both of you walk away with value. That entire process, from identifying that you were hungry to actually selling you the sandwich, that is marketing.
Okay, this next one is a huge exam question, so listen up. What's the difference between marketing and selling? Because they're not the same thing. Think of it like this. Marketing is the entire game plan. It starts way before the product is even made, figuring out exactly what customers like you want. It's about creating something so perfect for you that it practically sells itself. Selling? That's just the final step, the act of getting that product into your hands. So the easiest way to remember it is this. Marketing pulls you in as a customer, while selling pushes a product at you. So you might be wondering, what does a marketer actually do all day? Well, this slide shows you the whole journey. Imagine a company wants to launch a brand new energy drink. First, they've got to do their research, right? See what flavors people like. Then they make a marketing plan and design the bottle and the drink itself. They make sure every single bottle is the same quality and they create some really cool packaging and a label. And only then do they decide on the price, run some ads, and figure out how to get it into your local store. See? It's the whole journey, from a simple idea all the way to your hands.
Okay, now we're getting to what is probably the single most important concept in this entire chapter, the marketing mix. This is basically the set of tactical tools that every single marketer on the planet uses to implement their strategy and get their product out there.
And we call this powerful toolkit the 4 Ps. They stand for product, price, place, and promotion. Honestly, the easiest way to remember them is to think of them as the 4 key ingredients in a recipe. If you want to make a successful product, you've got to get this mix just right.
All right, let's start breaking these down, and we'll begin with the first and, frankly, the most important P, product. Because let's be real, if you don't have a great product to begin with, nothing else really matters, does it? This is the heart of the whole marketing mix.
Now, when we say product, I don't want you to just think about the physical thing you can hold. Think about your smartphone. The core product is the device, sure, but the total product also includes that cool logo on the back, the sleek box it came in, maybe even the feeling of status it gives you. It's the entire bundle of benefits that you, the customer, receive.
So let's break that down a bit more. You've got branding, like the Nike swoosh or the Amul girl. It gives the product a unique identity, so you can easily spot it. Then there's packaging, like a Lay's packet. It doesn't just protect the chips, it's also like a mini advertisement right there on the shelf. And finally, labeling provides all the crucial info you need, like the ingredients, the price, and how to use it. Okay, awesome. We've got our product. Now what? Well, next, we have to figure out its price, and, just as importantly, decide how we're going to get it into the hands of our customers. This is where the next 2 Ps come into play.
All right, let's get into the next 2 Ps. Price is pretty straightforward. It's the money you pay. But if you ever stop to wonder why a bag of chips costs, say, 20 rupees and not 15 or 30, that's a huge decision for a company. And then there's place, or what we call distribution. This is all about the how. How does that bag of chips travel from a factory somewhere and end up in that tiny shop in your neighborhood? It's all about getting the right product to the right place at the right time, so you can buy it. So how does a company actually decide on a price? Well, it's a balancing act. The cost to make the product sets the minimum price. That's the floor. You can't sell below that for long and survive. Then, the customer's idea of its value and the demand for it sets the maximum price. That's the ceiling. And somewhere in between those two, you have to think about what your competitors are charging, any government rules, and what your company's main goal is.
I want you to think of place as this giant logistics puzzle. You know, how does a book that was printed in a press in Delhi end up on your bookshelf at home? Well, it probably travels on trucks, gets stored in a big warehouse, and is sold through different channels like Amazon or a local bookstore. All these pieces have to work together perfectly to make sure that when you want to buy something, it's actually there.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got an amazing product, it's priced right, it's available in all the stores, but we're still missing something, right? If no one knows about it, it's not going to sell. And that brings us to our final P.
And that's where promotion comes in. It is all about communication. You could have the best product in the entire world, but if nobody knows it exists, nobody's going to buy it. Promotion is how you tell your target customers, hey, I've got this amazing thing, and here's exactly why you need it. It's the persuasion part of marketing. So, inside this big idea of promotion, you have four main tools: advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, which is stuff like discounts and contests, and public relations for building a good company image. Now, what's really important to get here is that there's no single best mix. A company selling soap is probably going to rely heavily on advertising, but a company selling complex software, they'll focus way more on personal selling to explain the product to other businesses. The mix always depends on the product and the customer. So let's compare the two heavy hitters here. Advertising is fantastic for reaching millions of people at once for a very low cost per person. Think about a big TV ad during a cricket match. Personal selling, on the other hand, is much more flexible. A salesperson can actually tailor their message directly to you, answer your questions on the spot, and build a real relationship. It's absolutely perfect for expensive or complicated products.
All right, we've made it to the summit. We have built our pyramid of knowledge from the ground up. So now let's take a look from the top and summarize the key points that you absolutely positively need to know for your exams.
Okay, rapid fire recap time. If you remember nothing else from this entire chapter, remember this: marketing starts and ends with the customer's needs. Your main tool to satisfy those needs is the marketing mix, the 4 Ps. Make sure you can name each P and explain its main parts. This is the absolute core of the chapter. Okay, for your exams, you're definitely going to see short answer questions like these. They're designed to test if you understand the core definitions. For marketing versus selling, just remember to start with the main idea: customer need versus seller need. For labeling, think about identification, giving information, and promotion. You've got this. And of course, you've got to be ready for the long answer questions too. These are the ones that require you to explain a whole concept, like the 4 Ps, in detail, or to analyze a statement and build an argument. For that advertising question, for example, you need to talk about both sides, the criticisms, like that it adds to the cost of products, and also the benefits, like how it informs consumers and can actually lower prices through mass production. And here it is. This mind map basically puts the entire chapter on one screen for you. The central idea is that marketing is all about identifying customer needs, then using your toolkit, the marketing mix, the 4 Ps, to create an offering that leads to customer satisfaction and, of course, business success. So I'll leave you with this thought. The next time you go to a shop or just browse online, how will you see the 4 Ps at work?